but now I am. Okay, so only thing we're gonna really talk about today, again, like I said earlier, the only thing really worth talking about is Victor Oladipo is hurt again. All right. So, and they don't really know what it is yet. He's not traveling with them to play against Portland tonight. Not going to really comment too much on the Portland game because it's tonight, and that'll happen, and we'll be done with this. So we'll wait for that later. But for now, right now, just to give you a little backstory on who's injured right now. Miami, he's dealing with a little bit of an injury bug. Just some important players. Tyler Hero's day to day. Okpala KZ, he's out. He's just out. They're on COVID. Oladipo with the knee, they're still trying to figure out what his deal is. He's staying back so they can further evaluate it. They're not even commenting on the fact that, because again, we have the bird rights, and this is his last year for that contract, that we have the bird rights too. So at the end, we do have the ability to extend another contract deal, or another year, on this contract, or we can just try to go get somewhere else in case it doesn't work out. Right now, it's looking like it might not work out because, again, they don't know what's going on. He is injury prone.
He's not getting the max.
I don't think he's going to get the max either, unless he comes back and starts dropping 25 a game, which it's just not there. And I mean, it would be great to maybe see how Tyler Hero would handle this too. But again, he's day to day. And Gabe Vincent, who's pretty decent minutes. Here's my thing about the point guard situation. I think it's kind of, I don't think they're really set about their point guard situation at all. I mean, Dragic is playing less and less. They don't even give none a fair chance. I
was wondering if
that's what
Tyler Hero is going to be affected on it, but it seems like none's just been out in rotation.
Because you don't know who's going to play point. It could be Jimmy, it could be Bam, it could be none one night. It was Victor when he was playing, but now it's not. So here's my thing. Okay, so we're both kind of on the same deal where we don't think he's going to get the max. We don't think he's going to be back.
They reported it today.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what everybody's thinking. But they haven't said it, but that's what everybody's thinking. That's where it's going. They're not going to say it because they're not officially done with that part of it. But I mean, what do you think? I mean, what do you think? Are you thinking that are they going to stick it out? Do you think that indicates that if, maybe it's not as bad as it may seem, it's maybe just a couple weeks or a month.
Yeah, that's what
he comes back.
Before I answer that, I want to know, like, how much money do we have in cap space and all that stuff? Like, because honestly, I didn't think he was going to get the match from Miami anyway.
You didn't think he was going to gel at all?
I'm not saying not gel, but the max, like, because think about it, Jimmy's currently a max player. Mm-hmm. Bam's a max player.
I'll tell you right now. Hold on. Speaking of free agents, someone know. Okay. So we'll have two important Heat players that I'll say important for one of them. I'll say both of them, but really mostly one of them. But in this case for Oladipo, right now, he would earn 2021 earnings would be $21 million, right? So that's steep. That is a lot to commit to a guy who's injury prone. He's 28 now, roughly about 20 points a game. You got other side production there. You got the rebounds. It's there.
He's not going to average 20 on Miami.
Yeah, not in the system now because it's not.
He might be around that, but it's like, even if he does that, give you 20, it won't be anything more than 20. It's like, not because he can't, but, our style of play and where he falls on the hierarchy, it's like, we're not going to force. He's not the type of player we're going to force feed. He's going to get his shots.
He's going to get his touches when he gets his touches.
He's going to be a very good player, but, usually max players, it's like we already got two max players on the team. It's like, I don't think they're looking to Victor to drop 25 a game. No disrespect, but
So we're in agreement that, yeah, he's pretty much not going to get the max. He's most likely not going to end up back in Miami, even on a restructured
You don't think so?
deal. I mean, this is what I think. I think that they knew eventually if he didn't work out, there was a plan B. I think plan B is free agency. And as I'm looking on the list now, I can definitely believe that they have a plan moving forward, even if it doesn't work out. Because even if it turns out it's not as bad of an injury as we think it is, then there's the possibility to restructure the deal at the end, right. And then you can work that out and then, make him earn his money back. I think that's a possibility there, and I think that's something that he'll definitely agree to, because he, at some point you have to understand, it's a business. So looking at the fact that there's free agent class next time, or I'm sorry, at the end of the middle of the year, is gonna be loaded. All right, at the end of the season is gonna be loaded. So biggest player, Kawhi. And then right after that, John Collins, Atlanta boy. Mike Conley, Oladipo, we just talked about that. Jared Allen, center from Cleveland right now, but he was in Brooklyn, the Afro boy, he is. DeMar, I would go get that.
DeMar DeRozan?
Yeah. Chris Paul, I wouldn't get that.
Nah, not for no $40 million a year. Nah. Trust me, I love Chris Paul too. But
well, how about this? What about Kyle Lowry?
If we were gonna do it, we would have did it already.
But they said they were trying though.
Yeah,
so,
they said that.
Were they? So.
Trust me, I'm pretty sure at this point Pat gets what he wants, man. So if they really
Godfather at this point.
Yeah, man. Victor said he wanted to come to Miami. Where did he end up?
Yeah,
in Miami.
Everybody knew it was gonna happen. But now there's two out of the next two, which ends up to being the top 10 that we've covered on the free agent list. Right now, this guy I'm about to mention right now would be the free agent, one of the probably top, considering the way they've treated the point guards. This would be my top target here on the free agent market, period. Lonzo Ball. Right. I would go get Lonzo.
I'm a little biased on that. You know how I feel about Lonzo.
I would go get Lonzo. That's just me. Because look, you don't want to get Mike unless you're gonna draft. We don't have any draft capital like that. Unless you're gonna get unless you're gonna go. Are you gonna commit to none? No. Are you gonna try to get Chris Paul? Probably not. Are you gonna try to get Kyle Lowry? I mean, it might be a different game. It's a free agency, so it might be a little different game. So it's a possibility to see Kyle Lowry in a Heat uniform. It's possible. I really think that Lonzo Ball is going to be the one that they go for.
I would love to see Lonzo. Lonzo's arguably my favorite. Other than Melo, he's probably my favorite point guard in the league. I would love.
So
to see
you just
him.
like the Ball brothers? That's what you're saying?
I've been following them since honestly, since Lonzo came into the league. I wasn't too knowledgeable on them, in high school. I did my history, I did my research on that, But even before Melo, I was pure Lonzo, big on Lonzo.
So I think everybody thought Lonzo was going to be scoring the way LaMelo is now.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to, man. Lonzo's never been that type of player, even in high school.
I think he's a completely different type of player, though.
Yeah, completely. That's what people get misconstrued. It's
he's not a scorer.
They always want to. They always want to. Compare the scoring, but even in high school, he's a
lockdown floor general. That's what he is, and now he's picking up the ability to put the ball in the basket more.
Most definitely.
So that's why in the end, that's why Lonzo's actually dangerous, because he has that IQ. Now LaMelo got it too. Don't get it twisted. LaMelo got it too, but I think Lonzo's not far. Once he gets that shot.
They used to say John Stockton was one of the most scariest players to deal with, because you never knew. John Stockton never averaged no 20 points per game, but it's
best point guard
that he was a threat on offense to score and passing. It was just you never, I feel
you'll pick your pocket too.
Exactly, amazing on defense. But then with Lonzo, he's amazing when he's engaged. When he's engaged, he doesn't have to give you 20 points per game, but when he's engaged, he is absolutely amazing. He might not give you 20, but he might give you about 16, 17, 8, 9 rebounds, 7 to 10 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. While throughout the entire process, getting his whole team involved. People underestimate that type of stuff. It's no matter what team you play for, you'll find a couple players that always thrive playing with them. And I think, a player like, Bam Adebayo, he's not a selfish player, but it's imagine Bam getting 3, 4, 5 easy just layups and dunks just because Lonzo's being unselfish. Tyler Hero, Jimmy Butler.
Right there. I think someone like Lonzo Ball would make Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson that much better. I think it would. I'm not gonna say he's on some LeBron stuff, but the same effect that LeBron had on JR and Iman. I think it's just. I think it's gonna be the same exact thing. I'm not calling Lonzo Ball like LeBron by any means, but he
doesn't need to be.
He don't need to be.
Duncan Robinson was killing people without getting perfect passes.
is also true.
Right in the pocket.
Hey, but guess what? Guess who else is on the free agent list?
Who else?
Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
So now we got to take care of Duncan Robinson.
The only thing with with Lonzo is I know he's looking for that big contract. So what would you commit to him? What would you say? Let's say he does really well at the end of the year. What would you say Miami would be willing to give him?
If you get him, that's your starting
He's
point guard.
6'6". Yeah, most
That's
definitely.
your
He's
starting point
6'6",
guard. You were committed to him for at
long.
least 3 to 4 years. I give him at least 10 to 11 million a year.
He's trying to get somewhere upwards to like 17 to 20.
Oh Lord have mercy. Okay. That is a different ball game. Now, I mean, here's the thing: you got to take care of Duncan Robinson, and then there's other guys. I mean, you got Dinwiddie, who's a free agent now. You got Serge Ibaka, I would personally go get.
He would be a great fit in Miami.
That's what I'm saying. Serge, bro, that front court is locked up. Precious,
he would fit in. He would fit in so perfectly.
Oh my gosh, Andre Drummond's there too. I don't prefer that, but he's there. Schroeder, if you want a dog at point guard, Dennis Schroeder, but it's not your starting point guard. And you still got to figure out what are you going to do with none. You got none. What are you going to, Dragic is out the door soon. We already know that's going to be the case.
He's older, injury prone.
He's old, injury prone. It's that time. We already know what's going on.
Yeah.
None, we have no idea what's going on. So I think that they're probably going to move him. I think they're going to move him for some cap. Or I don't know. Pat Riley's gonna try something.
I think Miami tries to force him to roll that's not really there anymore. And I think his first year go around was a really great story. And he's one of those players that overexceeded expectations as well. But
Now what about this? Lowry Markkanen's on the free agent market too. They just went ahead and got Marcus Gasol. They got Zach LaVine. Depending on how they finish out, I mean, they could end up keeping him. And that would create a really good core over there in Chicago.
Right.
But if he decides to slip, this would be probably the best stretch big free agent right now. So I would definitely make a run at this guy too. I think what I'm seeing here is that there's a lot of options. And I haven't even gone through half of them. I'm only gone through the top 20 options here. So 2 of them are guys that are on our roster. So one of them I know will definitely take care of Duncan Robinson. They will by all means find a way to take care of him.
Most definitely.
Victor, I don't know. I think that if his injury comes back not as bad, I think they may try to restructure the deal and keep him and then try to go get somebody else.
I think they like Vic, but at the same time, it's like one of those things. It's
He's
like
not dropping 20.
We just kind of, within the last couple of years, got out of that financial lockjam, and I don't think Pat's going to force himself to get in another one for a player that's injury prone.
And not for nothing, they definitely got out of some more financial bad contracts with the recent moves, even in getting Oladipo. They got rid of Kelly. They got, that was a big contract that they had to get rid of that wasn't being lived up to. So I think they're heading in the right direction. I think free agency is where it's going to happen, though. Free agency is usually where Pat Riley makes his mark.
Hey, realistically, what do you think the temperature is on the whole Kawhi trying to lure him to Miami?
Why would he come to Miami? He said, you know what? You can't trust what Kawhi says. You can't, because here we go. Here's my thing about Kawhi, okay? My thing about Kawhi is you can't trust what he says because he doesn't like talking. He doesn't like talking. He just wants to play ball. People who just want to play ball do not want to talk to the media. So how are they going to get around a long career? He's a very successful player. Everybody's going to want to talk to him.
He's a fun guy.
Fun guy. So how do you get a fun guy to communicate with the media? Someone is telling him what to say. Like, he doesn't like, as far as like, because he don't like, as far as talking in maneuver, like the political minefield that the NBA is, like you can't say certain things to the press and you can't say it in a certain way and you can't even maybe hint to the fact that it might happen, sort of kind of. So he doesn't really have that, like, you know what I'm saying? Like Kyrie is pretty good at spinning it back at the media. So like, but Kawhi is not going to do that. So I feel like Kawhi, I feel like we don't know what he wants to do. And I feel like he's telling us what whoever may want us to think that. because remember at the beginning, they said he wanted to go back to the LA. He wanted to go closer to home. So even back then, before
I didn't really put too much
before he went to the Clippers, it was still a chance that he can come to Miami back then. So you never know. Pat Riley may be working that out too.
Yeah, it's crazy to hear his name in the reports because I didn't think his tenure with the Clippers would be so short.
But imagine imagine how hard. Well, is he restricted or unrestricted? Oh, it's a player option. Okay. So they have the option to pick it up. I guess. I don't know. I just feel like I don't think he's going anywhere. And I don't think it has anything to really do what he wants. I think it's more so, imagine you're the Clippers GM, or in this case, y'all gave up the house for Kawhi.
And they're going to throw a lot of money
and Paul George. You gave up the house. Paul George ain't playing nothing like he used to. He's having a good year. Don't get me wrong. Paul George is still a good, solid player, but he's not what he was in Indiana. I don't think he's been
PG
like that.
Might very well be out the door, man. He might very well be out the door. I think they're gonna prioritize Kawhi Leonard.
I'm gonna tell you.
After that, they'll figure it out.
You know what I think they're looking at? I think when Lou Williams got traded, that's when I knew things. I was like, yeah, they're about to hit a rebuild. I think they're about to hit a fat rebuild. I think they're about to let him go, and they're about to go right back into a fat rebuild and get it right from the beginning, because they knew when they gave up all those picks for Paul George. They knew. And look at them now. If I was the Clippers, this is a Miami Heat podcast, but if I was the Clippers, I'd get the door. I'd give Paul George the door. I'd try to go get as many picks as I can for him, as many second round picks, as many bum players that you can. I'd go looking for any kind of G League player that you can maybe build something around, and I'd hit I'd hit the fat reset button if I was the Clippers. And I'd let Kawhi walk.
After talking
go
all
to
that
Miami like he says he wants to go.
After attacking they were talking big trash, like they didn't already won the chip when he got Kawhi Paul George.
You can see it. Just the management sucks over there. Like they don't know what they're doing. Like you can tell when an organization really doesn't know, because even the type of team that they were building, I was like, yo, there's like, besides Paul George and Kawhi, that's it.
Did you hear what Charles Barkley said about the Clippers? He said, I've been skinny, I've been fat, I've been this, I've been that. During all these things, the Clippers have always sucked.
The Clippers have sucked. Bro, there was like this one pocket of time that we all know that the Clippers actually didn't suck. And it's when CP, Blake, and DeAndre was over there lobbing the ball. Yeah. That's the small pocket of time that the Clippers did not suck. Anytime past that and anytime before that, Clippers have always sucked.
We're probably like the most fun team to play with on 2K for a while.
I mean, what, in 2K, 1 year or 2 years?
Chris Paul, JJ Redick, DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin.
2 years?
Paul Pierce, too,
We got 2 years of that.
That team was stacked.
It was. Where did it go?
Nowhere.
What happened?
Just like Charles Barkley said.
They've been trash. Big trash. Kawhi's gone.
But to where? Josh?
I'm not going to answer that. I don't know that answer. I don't care what the reports say. It's rumor season. I don't care what they say. Kawhi, you could say tomorrow I'm going to Miami, then end up at Phoenix. None of it makes sense, but he's a fun guy.
Fun guy.
Things happen.
I think he's going wherever Serge is going.
Now, between the big guys that I actually want to see them go after, if we can, Montrezl Harrell, John Collins for sure, Serge Ibaka for sure.
Talking about Miami?
Mm-hmm.
You like Montrezl like that?
I think he fits the Heat mold.
I think maybe
6'10", dog.
Maybe. I think Serge fits it more so.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying these are just the options I would go with. Now, as far as guards, if you can swing Spencer Dinwiddie, I would do that.
But would he start or would he come off the bench?
Depends on who else you can get in free agency. If you can, realistically, the way Tyler Hero is kind of plateaued this year. I mean, I wouldn't even call it. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a plateau. Until I see like more consistency. I think his thing is consistency. Again, he's hurt now, but it's more consistency. Just that's what I've been seeing. I think Spencer Dinwiddie just offers more to the entire offense,
right?
Because he can just do more, and then even on the other end of the floor, he's not so much of a liability on defense as well. So I think just off of that merit, I would start Dinwiddie. And then I think Tyler Hero, because what he's shown he could be best at this season is like coming up, being that immediate spark off the bench and dropping 20 off the bench.
Right.
But here's the thing about the Heat, and that's not a knock on Hero. Here's the thing about the Heat, like we're so thorough. There's such a thoroughly built out team, like, and I'm not saying that like there's no like superstars. Like it's a hodgepodge team of 7s and 8s, and you know Bam and Jimmy being I guess your 9s, but like it's a whole solid roster filled with solid players that can all get it done in some way or the other. So that's why Tyler Hero kind of falls down. If you're not bringing that consistently every night or showing me something extremely different than the rest of these guys, then like what else? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you got to think like you got to be somewhat confident a little bit that like it doesn't really matter. Like Duncan and Tyler are both lights out shooters. You know what I'm saying? Like even if we lost one, I'd be okay because we still have the other, and I know that they can go find another one. So I don't like. I think that there's going to be some shakeups in the offseason. I think that they're going to go
most definitely.
I think they're going to go get some people that you didn't expect they were going to get. And I think there's going to be some trades and cuts that you didn't expect. Yeah, but to kind of top this one off, I don't think Oladipo is going to be back.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate that it was so short-lived. Hopefully he can stay, but like I was saying, I don't expect him to get a max. And I don't expect Miami to force anything just to please him. So to answer that, I don't expect him to get a max, but I don't expect him to be kicked out the door. I think that once we get the health report, if it comes out to where it's a serious deal, then yeah, it may have been short-lived. But if it comes out to where it's again not as serious, then I think there could be a restructure opportunity there. Right.
All right, but I mean, I think some big things are coming.
What do you think? What do you got any opinions on the Dwayne Dedmon move? Signing?
I think it was a fill a void on defense.
Right.
That's all it was. We were just missing another big body down low, and I think that they found a guy at a good price, and they went ahead and got him. Here's the thing about the Miami defense, the front court, like it needs a certain type of player. Notice how we've been able to survive and go so far without like your traditional 7-foot center.
Right.
I think we kind of lucked out getting someone like Bam, but again, he's only 6'9", 10 in a good day.
Yeah,
so
he plays way bigger than he is.
He plays way bigger than he is. And Precious is the same deal. You know what I mean? And then you got a lot of other guys right next to him on that front court, like Ariza and Andre Iguodala.
Guys are small forwards that end up playing power forward.
Even the guys, but think about the guys that stayed and the guys that got cut, right? So Miami tries to bring in, Kelly Olynyk. I mean, he was here a long time, and he was more of an in and out offensive guy, more so on the outside, but he didn't last long. They've been trying to get rid of him for a while. Myers Leonard, a little smaller, but a stretch big that'll go outside and hit you threes. Didn't last, but the guys that sit there, fight, grit, and grind, those are the ones that end up staying. So I think that's what they're going to continue to build around. I mean, I think you're going to still see some shooters come in. Bejalica, again, is a big shooter. And he's not a scrub either. He's pretty good. So
he would be a very good player for us if we had Lonzo to give him wide open shots.
That's why
terrible this year.
But that's why you go get someone like that.
Yeah.
Someone like that changes the entire dynamic of your offense. Now Jimmy doesn't have to take the ball. Now Bam doesn't have to worry about bringing the ball up, or if he wants to, because now Lonzo can go get his own shots. And off of that, here's my thing about any player that's either young, good or about to break out, any player like that comes to Miami, here's why I get excited, because Miami's training program is known to bring the best out of its players.
Exactly.
So anyone that comes here is gonna start to work. It's obviously not gonna happen right then and there, but as time goes on, that's something that we can really see.
And the thing with Lonzo in Miami is like it won't be like New Orleans where some games he gets iced out of the game because they force feed Zion or they force feed Brandon Ingram. Like Jimmy will literally demand Lonzo to be aggressive. He will literally demand that. So we've seen, regardless of if his numbers are great or efficiency wise, you get an aggressive Lonzo, you're gonna get one really good product and a guy that's gonna change the whole pace of the game.
And like you said, you're gonna have someone who's literally gonna act as a battery for that in Jimmy Butler, who's literally going to churn that out of him every single day in practice and in the game. So that's why a player like Jimmy is so valuable. Like Jimmy's not going anywhere. They're gonna retire Jimmy Butler.
Oh, most definitely.
They're retiring him. He's not going anywhere.
We knew that from the final series, man. That was, he's
not going anywhere. He's going to be remembered for that one, because for him to come on and then for us to go through all that, and then you really help us get to the finals on a crazy, we know things happen and y'all are out of this and that, whatever, but we'll remember that. We'll always remember that.
The fact that the guy is from Texas and his finals run was literally the embodiment. I'm not just talking about the Heat. I'm talking about the city of Miami. And if you're from Florida, you know exactly what I'm talking about. He's not like a Miami guy, like a street guy or anything like that, but the toughness that, the rough riding and, I'm not backing down. I'm not taking no ish from anybody. You literally saw that in the finals.
Oh, yeah. And frankly, it was the only thing that kept us even somewhat in the game, we all know what happened.
Interesting.
Yeah, we all know what happened, but the fact that he was able to keep pumping that life into the team, when we started feeling that, I think honestly the injuries kind of set us back too. Like that's neither here nor there. But it's just past. But yeah, it's great to have someone like that on the team. Because UD is somehow still on the roster, still collecting a check. But he was one of those guys that was pumping life into the team, and so it's good to have another guy come in there and be able to take that position, and then not only be that reserved leader, but also be that leader up front. So, and again, going back, Udonis was that leader up front. But I'm talking about as time went on. But yeah, you got anything else to touch on?
Man, Jesus Christ. I don't want to be the guy to kind of fast forward the next season, because I like to stay in the moment. So I hope everything works out. I hope we can have another very solid playoff run. Like I said, kind of like the same way as last year. I didn't really have expectations, but it's kind of like one of those things all right, let's get there and we'll see what happens.
Look, bro. Look, this is all I'm going to say about this year's playoffs. As a Heat fan, I'm going to completely hope and root for my team and hope that my team does the best that they can and goes as far as the championship goes and wins it all. Right? But we all know, every NBA fan all knows, Brooklyn has paid for this championship and they are going to collect. There's only a few people in the East that even stand a chance, but nobody in the East has paid as much as Brooklyn for that championship this year. So
if they can stay healthy, it's pretty much a done deal.
Nobody has paid as much as Brooklyn this year for the championship. With that being said, the LA Lakers are the only team, in my humble opinion, that can not only take them in a 7-game series, and win it. The only team in the entire league that I personally be right now, healthy, the only two teams that can go back and forth right now at that level, at that champion, the only team that can match them is the Lakers. You got a bunch of teams that have talent, but nobody that really can last 7 games with that type of firepower. Who else?
Yeah. I believe you're right.
Maybe Milwaukee. Maybe. I don't even know. I'm just saying that at this point. Maybe.
I think Milwaukee would just be a tough out for them, but
it would just be a tough. Yeah, it just would be a tough ride. But again, they would eventually win. Yeah, it's just you got so much talent. Like, I hate to go back. I'm not even gonna go back because we're gonna go on for another 20 minutes. We're gonna wrap this up here. Look, Brooklyn paid for that. They paid for this year's chip. So if they don't get it, we're all gonna be looking at them kind of like, so that's what you paid for. But so hey, I think keeping in Miami Heat, I think they're gonna go.
Before we end, let me ask you one last question. All right, let's say God forbid Brooklyn doesn't win this year, right?
Okay. So they got robbed. Got it.
What? Got robbed. Okay. What's the time frame? Because we did the same thing with the Clippers a year ago, and now it's like
of them getting another chip or collapsing.
What's the time frame that they're allowed? The leeway that they're allowed to have before
There's no leeway.
There's none.
No.
Okay. I'm saying, okay. Say they don't do it this year, right? Are they on the clock? Are they on the clock?
No, someone's on the clock, or someone's clock has expired. If you don't get the chip if you don't at least get there, I think most individuals' jobs are safe if they get there. Most. Right. If they don't get there, somebody's getting fired. That's what I can say in confidence.
So they don't win the championship this year, and let's say
if they don't win a championship this year,
they don't do it next year. Do you break it up?
You're gonna have to. You can't afford you can't afford that for that long. First of all, you have guys that are on 1-year contracts.
Yeah.
So unless they're gonna continue to do that, which if they do, all right, that's on them. But still, 1-year contracts are not cheap.
Right.
You're paying all that, boom, right then and there. There's no spreading that out. There's no restructuring, nothing. That's all done right then and there. Now, depending on in the NBA, the difference between the NBA and the NFL is that the NBA, the way the players have now gotten control to where they can set up the guaranteed money. So these players have guaranteed money. So you have to listen and play these guys because they are guaranteed money. You're stuck with these guys. Why the Miami Heat was stuck with Kelly Olynyk so long? They are stuck with these guys. So that's why things happen. So what are you gonna do?
Heat 2021 champions, man. Let's speak into existence.
Oh yeah. Really? That's what you're gonna do?
Hey man, Tyler Herro's gonna win MVP.
Realistically. Okay. Realistically, look, let's be serious.
And Kawhi's gonna come to the free agency.
No, I mean, okay, let's keep it a buck. Okay, real talk. Heat are gonna go so these are for the people that decide to stick this far out. We're just gonna give you the real spiel here. Okay, so this is what's going on. The Heat are gonna probably end up going to the second round, probably go to the I say conference finals because that's my hopeful side. Realistically, probably if Oladipo doesn't hold through, then I think probably the second round. If Oladipo pulls through, then maybe the final round with Brooklyn, then we'll lose that, and then Brooklyn, like they paid for, will get the championship. But yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. I mean, realistically, though, we'll be back in the free agency. Miami will figure something out. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of opportunities out there, a lot of possibility. I think that they're going to go ahead and make a run on that. You got anything else to tell the people, my man?
And Pat, we trust. That's about it.
And Pat, we trust, like always. All right. Well, as always, guys, you can go ahead and just like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about what we should talk about next. Any topics, anything going on, any Miami Heat stuff you just want to chat about, let me know. Until next time, we will see you next week.